Alex, I was cleaning out the back corner of the shop this morning. Found a piece of Purple Heart I bought. Oh, probably back when flip phones were still high tech.
Haha. So Tuesday?
Hey, watch it. It was buried under a pile of offcuts. And it hit me. Every woodworker has that graveyard of beautiful scraps. Pieces too small for a table, but too expensive to throw away.
I call mine the pile of good intentions. It's basically a wooden museum of projects I started and then got distracted by a shiny new chisel.
Exactly. But here's the thing nobody tells you. Those scraps are actually a masterclass waiting to happen. People look at those high-end, multi-species butcher blocks in boutique shops, the ones that cost 400 bucks, and they get intimidated. They think there's some secret geometry involved.
Well, isn't there? I mean, I've seen your shop when you're doing glue-ups. You look like a mad scientist trying to solve cold fusion with a bottle of Tite Bond.
It's a very fine line between craftsmanship and a nervous breakdown, Alex. Ask me how I know. But today, I want to talk about why the butcher block is the ultimate demystifier project. It's the perfect way to turn that scrap pile into something that looks like $1,000,000.
Okay, I'm listening. But for the person at home who's looking at a pile of random cherry, oak, and maybe some leftover walnut, where do you even start? Because if I just glue random sticks together, it's going to look like a high school shop project gone wrong.
It's all in the milling and the mapping. That's the stage where most people rush, and that's where the disaster starts. I spent 2 hours this morning just milling stock to 1.5 inches.
Wait, hold on. 2 hours? Just cutting them to size?
2 hours. If your boards aren't perfectly square and identical in thickness, your glue up is going to look like a staircase. And if you try to fix that with a sander later, well, let's just say you'll have a very smooth, very wavy board that won't hold a glass of water straight.
So the secret isn't some fancy joinery. No dovetails or mortise and tenons hidden in there?
Nope, just good old-fashioned butt joints and a lot of glue. But the mapping is the art. I like to lay them all out and draw a big triangle or a wiggly line across the top of all the boards with a pencil.
A wiggly line. Very technical, Tiger.
It actually is. If you scramble the boards, you just look for the line. It's like a puzzle for people who've had too much sawdust in their coffee. It keeps your grain pattern and your order exactly where you want them.
Okay, let's talk about the glue. Because I've seen you get stressed about open time, and when you're gluing up 20 different pieces of wood at once, that's a lot of surface area.
Oh, the glue up panic. It's a real medical condition. You start sweating, the glue starts curing, and suddenly you're trying to move a board that's stuck faster than my Uncle Mort's Buick in a snowstorm.
Haha. So how do you avoid the panic, especially if you have a small shop?
Here's the thing nobody tells you. Don't do it all at once. If your planer is only 12 inches wide, don't try to glue up a 24-inch countertop. You glue it up in two separate sections.
Wait, really? You just leave a gap?
Exactly. In the video we were looking at from Wes, he does something brilliant. He lines up all the boards for the full width, but on one middle board he doesn't put any glue. He calls it the wiggly line board. You glue up two 12-inch slabs separately.
That's actually genius, because then you can run those two smaller slabs through the planer to get them perfectly flat before joining them together.
Exactly. You're letting your tools do the hard work. If you glue the whole thing at once and it's slightly off, you're spending 4 hours with a belt sander, and nobody wants that life.
Okay, but let's talk about the rub. I saw Wes doing this thing where instead of using a brush or a roller, he just rubs the boards together to spread the glue. Is that legal?
It's the old-timers spread. You put a heavy bead of Tite Bond 2, and it has to be Tite Bond 2 or 3 for a kitchen surface because of the water resistance, and then you just rub the faces together. It creates a suction. If you do it right, the boards will almost stay together without clamps for a second.
But isn't that messy?
Woodworking is just the adult version of playing in the mud, Alex. If you aren't getting glue on your hands, are you even working? But seriously, that squeeze out is your best friend. If you don't see a consistent line of little glue beads when you tighten the clamps, you didn't use enough. And a dry joint is a failed joint.
A dry joint is a failed joint. Sounds like something you'd see on a cross stitch in a carpenter's kitchen.
Might put that on a t-shirt.
Let's talk about the reveal. That moment when you've planed it, you've sanded it through the grits, and it's finally time to put the finish on. That's the emotional peak, right?
It's the only reason we do this. Everything before that is just noise and dust. When you wipe on that first coat of mineral oil or beeswax, it's like the wood finally wakes up. The walnut goes deep chocolate, the cherry turns that warm honey color.
And the best part is, this was all trash 2 days ago.
Precisely. You've taken something destined for the scrap bin or the fireplace and turned it into an heirloom. A butcher block is meant to be used. It's meant to be scarred, cut on, and lived with.
So, what's the one thing you want a beginner to remember? The one who's staring at their pile of scraps and feeling like they're going to mess it up.
Don't chase perfection in the wood, chase it in the prep. If your boards are square and your glue is wet, the wood will do the rest of the beauty for you. And honestly, even if you have a gap or a character mark, tell them you meant to do it.
Haha, the artisan's choice excuse.
Exactly.
Still tastes like oak.
Maybe that's the real secret ingredient.
Thanks for hanging out in the den today. Now go turn some scraps into something beautiful. And for heaven's sake, cover your coffee cup.